Hey guys, Buffing Game Bad today, bringing you another video, and today just a little quick update regarding Warzone. So there's been one glaring issue since Caldera launched with the Vanguard integration, and that being that the loadouts were unable to be purchased until the first circle drop, more specifically until the actual loadout itself, the free loadout, dropped on the map. So you were unable to purchase a loadout until that point, so it roughly ended up being about 7 minutes before you could buy a loadout or get a loadout, period, which made the game very, very stale from my perspective. I think if you're a person that didn't like Vanguard weapons, which I would assume is probably, for the most part, just about everybody who plays the game, you're stuck with these weapons. So they reverted that change today on February 3rd. So now for regular Battle Royale, all modes, solo duos, trios, and quads, you can buy your loadout right away on the regular Battle Royale. But for the standard Vanguard-specific Battle Royale, I think it is actually still going to be the same, or at least they adjusted it slightly to the point where you can't buy it off the bat, but it will, at least we have to wait a few more minutes until you get it. Maybe not the full 7, but personally, I never play Vanguard Royale, so I'm not really concerned with that. Just to be able to get your loadout right away, I jumped in and played a few games today, and the night and day difference with how the game felt. I had a lot of gripes with the map itself originally, which I still think there's definitely some issues with the map itself being too open. But the fact that you're able to get your loadout right away makes a huge difference when you get into engagements. Typically, before this update, I just made a video the other day about the issues with the map itself and this particular problem where you were unable to purchase your loadout. And being able to get your loadout right away here makes a huge difference because, like I was saying before, I was unable to even get a loadout in 90% of my games, maybe 80% to be fair. But to be able to buy one every time I bought one and we get it, the second I go to get my loadout and get it, instantly we're getting engaged by a team that's already, for some reason, camping in a loadout. Or if you try to go to the free loadout, everyone's just going to camp that loadout if there's more than one there, making it very, very difficult to have any sort of meaningful firefights because you're stuck with these really, really poor performing World War II guns, which personally I'm horrible with and don't want to even be using, but you're stuck with them. So it forced you to play the game a specific way that personally I didn't want to play, and I think a lot of the community doesn't like the Vanguard weapons. So be able to force you to do that was really weird, especially one of the pillars of Warzone. What makes Warzone great is being able to use your own weapons. And from somebody, a lot of us who started out with the Modern Warfare days, having those weapons, Modern Warfare, then Cold War, to be able to be restricted, or for them to restrict us only to Vanguard until we get the loadout, taking away what makes Warzone with the loadout purchase was a big problem. So I'm glad they finally reverted it. Not sure why it took over 3 months to do so, but at least they were able to finally do that after enough people complained. Really bad change, should have never happened in the first place. I can see how it might be good when you have better guns that aren't World War II guns, but to wait 7 whole minutes before you get a loadout, definitely not fun. So the gameplay in the background, just a little bit of today's games, being able to get my weapons off the bat and being able to use something that I'm enjoying. Now, the updates today, like I said, for the gameplay purposes, loadout drops are now available for purchase via buy stations at any time during the match. This only applies to Battle Royale. Vanguard Royale has different rule sets regarding loadouts, like we discussed. They did do some minor bug fixes here, so they fixed collision issue with various elements across Caldera, allowing players to exploit, peek, shoot through them, which I think was definitely an issue that's happened to me, but there was another issue, which we'll talk about here in a second. They also fixed an issue causing players to freeze on the tier skip redemption screen, which I haven't even looked at the battle pass at all, I don't think, so I probably still have the whole thing to go through as far as unlocks. But when we look at the collision issues for peeking and things like that, there's also an issue that I know they've already deployed numerous fixes for this, but with the texture issues on the PlayStation side, and especially the Xbox side, I know is having problems too. But the other day I was playing, and the textures were just not loading whatsoever. So I was getting, in areas where there weren't hills or rocks, I was getting hills that were taking up parts of the screen where there really, in reality, there was nothing supposed to be there besides air. So I'm getting big textures that look like they're supposed to be hillsides, but they're very bad textures. But they're in my way, so I can't see. I'm running through what looks like the map, but in actuality, there's nothing there. So that was a big problem that I noticed popping up once in a while. I didn't notice any of that today. It doesn't seem like they did anything for stability purposes on the consoles, but I'm sure they probably did something like that on the back end, but it's really hit or miss whether or not that happens. So they also announced different playlists. So as of today, You have Vanguard Plunder. You have Battle Royale, Solos, Duos, Trios, Quads, Rebirth Island. You also have Resurgence, Trios, Quads, and Mini Royale Duos. Now, for the week of February 10th, you're going to have Vanguard, Resurgence, Quads, Battle Royale, Buyback. So Solos, Duos, Trios, Quads for buybacks. Thank God, that'll be so much fun. Finally, bringing that mode back. And then we have Plunder for Trios, Rebirth Island, Resurgence, Trios, and Quads. Now, we look at buyback modes. This is probably one of the very few modes, I think, the buyback modes, the Iron Trial modes, and Realism. Personally, I'm a big fan of Realism, but at least the other two are probably the most popular and requested throughout the community, and to have them not come up every other week or weekend or something like that, very strange that that's what the community wants, and you don't get them. So hopefully this is something we see pick up as far as the buyback modes. I'm not sure why they don't just add these every other week, every 3 weeks, or have something on the schedule so we know what's coming. But I don't think we have had buyback modes in a long time. I think we had a couple rounds of Iron Trials before we had any buyback modes. So it's been a while for any of the buyback modes. But let me know what you guys think down below of these changes. Again, like I said, these changes made a huge difference today with my gameplay on Caldera. The map, like I said, still not a big fan of it. But being able to get my weapon and actually have a firefight and have a fighting chance and not have to use really, really bad World War II weapons just made a world of difference. So you'll see me in the gameplay using the Fin LMG with the advantage barrel. So it's a base firing barrel at 550, 600 rounds per minute. So using that, it's in real life at nights, light assault machine gun, LAMG. This thing is so much fun, and to be able to actually get that loadout and try and get my footage that I need for the whole map instead of having to wait 7 minutes, night and day difference. Also running a P90, so just being able to actually get engagements with this. Typically, I'll play, and very rarely am I even able to fire the weapon. But here, we're able to get it right off the bat, and I'm able to get some crazy kills with this thing, working up for a video. So, big change. Thank God they finally did it, and I feel like I can finally play the game now. And Warzone is actually, today I had more fun than I've had in many, many, many months playing Warzone. So I'm glad they finally did this. Hopefully they don't do any bad changes like that again. But good on them for reverting it. And excited to see what upcoming changes they have to this mode as well. So let me know what you guys think down below. Till next time, this is Buckner Gaming, out.